Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tales from Collector's Paradise. What does this box, shipped directly from North Hollywood, California, have to do with this box? And this box? And these two display cases? And a 10-year-old boy chasing down a 35-year-old dream? Plus, the debut of widescreen. All this and more on episode 4, today on Tales from Collector's Paradise, featuring Big Stevie Pump. Welcome to Tales from Collector's Paradise, episode 4. I'm your host, Big Stevie Pump. And guys, a couple of things. First off, we're coming out of WrestleMania weekend, which is, I've got the Hulkamania shirt on, as you may notice. Still in reverse image. Couple of things about that. First off, hey, you may notice the widescreen look. And, that's something I had to work hard with my production team on, my agent, trying to get this passed through for you guys. But hey, you demanded it. I delivered. Big Stevie Pump. That's what's happening here on Tales from Collector's Paradise. So I'm doing the best I can, working for you guys anyway. My agent, my production team, they're hard at work. You should see me this contraption they made me to be able to film in widescreen. Truly awesome work, guys. Anyway, enough of that. Coming out of WrestleMania weekend, Hulkamania, as I said, that's why I'm wearing the Hulkamania shirt. WrestleMania started in 85. So Hulkamania and WrestleMania started around that 1985 time frame, which is also when I'm going to show you today, come out in 85. And that 10-year-old boy I was talking about, chasing down a dream. Well, yes, spoiler alert, it's me, yours truly, Big Stevie Pump. So, here we are, some 35 years later, with a box shipped straight out of North Hollywood, California. And that's going to help me complete this journey. And I don't normally do a lot of openings and everything online, but I'm going to do this one probably just to show you this. So for the very first time, a lot of you guys may ever see this. Check it out. Okay, folks, here we go. This is going to be the opening from the package from North Hollywood. And folks, first off, let's get a couple of things straight. What you're looking at right here is a Buck 382-1. Yep. This is just your standard, $25, $25 run-of-the-mill buck knife. And let's see, I'm trying to really get a look at that number there. Man, I can't. Oh, look at that, 382-1. And that's it, folks. You need a good tool to open any package. Not much better than a Buck 382.1. I'm going to tell you that right now. So we're going to get at it. And you can only do this once, folks. So, we're going to cut the side a little bit, cut the other side. And I really don't like to do this because it takes a lot of time. But, this is as close as you're going to get to opening one of these here packages in 2020. So what's in here, folks, is a journey, like I said, and I'm going to get into it more. Look at, there it is, folks. There it is. Can you see that? That is 5 needles in a haystack. These are M.U.S.C.L.E, millions of unusual small creatures lurking everywhere. Okay, these are the 5 figures that I poured out there. And that package, like I said, come from North Hollywood, California, from a seller named M.U.S.C.L.E on eBay. And it cost me $23.05. So that's $4.61 each a figure. And that's quite a price to pay because back in the day when you got these in the packs, they were roughly about $0.25 a piece. And, you might even pay a friend or somebody, 50 cents a piece for the one you really wanted. But anyway, so $4.61 a piece is quite a lot to pay in one hand. And on the other hand, it's 5 needles in a haystack. So, and I'm going to show you a little bit more what I'm talking about here in just a minute. But these are random. So to find one seller that had all 5 of the ones I needed off and on took me, 35 years to get these last 5 I needed to complete a set. So like I said, give me just a second and I'm going to get into some more of what I'm talking about. Okay, and here we have, hanging on this door here, the muscle poster, the Nestle Quick Mail Away promotion poster, where you had to have a couple of UPCs from Mattel packaging for muscles, and you had to have a couple of UPCs from Nestle Quick, and they would send you this poster. And as a kid, this was cool. And let's get a look at that. M.U.S.C.L.E. Millions of unusual small creatures are lurking everywhere. Can you collect them all? Fill in the stars. You catch each one. So talking about filling in the star, if you'll notice here, it's got the little white star that's been checked off black, as has all 233 of these figures. So that's how many there are, 233. And if you'll notice, there's a couple of important dates there, 1983 and 1985 up in the top left of the writing, Mattel 85. So that's when they were released in the United States, Mattel, 1985. Bandai released them in Japan in 1983 under the name of Kinkishi. Well, M.U.S.C.L.E. was released in 85 by Mattel, and under the name of M.U.S.C.L.E. And they, pretty much ditched all the manga from Japan and everything and just kind of come up with their own little storyline and really just threw out the concept of collect all 233 of these guys. They're taking over the world, collect them all, find them all. Well, guess what? As a kid, as a 10-year-old boy, when this quest began, that's what I had to do, is get all 233 of them. Well, anyway, we're going to cover a lot of ground here and a little bit of history of muscles. All right, so check it out. So this is just kind of a snapshot of some of the products that come out, and I want to kind of just get a view of these. Now, these 5 newcomers here, they haven't quite blended in with the rest of the pack. So this is what I kind of wanted to show you about 5 needles in a haystack. And there's a few standing in the back. I want to cover a few in just a moment. But at any rate, so here's these guys. And, and these are the 28 packs. And so some of these things were exclusive. So like a lot of these figures, you see number 1, Thug Busters, and number 2, Cosmic Crunchers, and number 3, the Mighty Maulers, and number 4, Cosmic Showdown. So basically these 28 packs, the figures that were contained in those 112 were exclusive to that. The other ones, to complete the 233 was a crapshoot in 4 packs and in 10 packs. And I actually have here, and this will be awesome to see here, $2.48, Toys R Us. And this is what the packaging looked like for a 10-pack. And, you can't really see through them. You could maybe manipulate the packaging to kind of almost see them a little bit, but you weren't sure. So you didn't know it was a blind draw. And a couple of these are just empties. You'll notice here the Nintendo game. This is regarded as one of the worst Nintendo games of all time. And you'll notice Bandai. Yeah. But, yeah, the Nintendo M.U.S.C.L.E. wrestling game there, and that's 86. And this line only really lasted from 85, and then by the time 88 rolled around, is done. So, and we're going to get into a few more things about that in a minute. But then here's also the ring that you would put, and these are not the 2 figures that come with, these are just the 2 that I had handy to throw in there. And you would, Rock'em Sock'em Robot, you would battle with your friends, and that was cool. Okay, well, like I said, there's the 4 of those packs. And then there's all of these. So I'm going to kind of move this around while I'm talking about them. And you'll notice here, some of these I chose to just highlight are just some of my favorites for whatever reason. And that's why, as a kid, this is one of the first ones I ever got. Same with this guy, Texas, here. And I liked him because of the way his arms were and everything. He could body slam people, do everything. And then notice the resemblance to Dusty Rhodes. And I think that figure is actually called Beauty Rhodes. And then Hulk Hogan on the right there. So, I mean, they definitely, and this is Muscle Man and Terry Bull, the main 2, the good guy on the left, Muscle Man, and the bag on the right, Terry Bull. And there's the hand, which is always one of everybody's favorites, and then there's that little guy. And then they even did things like a top, And this is a top that really works. I'm not going to show you right now. Now, what you'll notice about these figures that have something in common is they all have rubber bands on them. Well, these were my champions. So this guy right here, this guy, which is one of my favorite looking ones, and I'm going to set him down so you can actually get a little bit better look at him. I mean, just look at how cool that guy is. So how, as a kid, you know, a 10-year-old kid, could this guy not be your champion? Anyway, and this guy's got 2 belts. He's a tag team champion, and his partner's contained in one of these packs. So that's getting to kind of what I was getting at. Now, these are the ones that I had as kids, a lot of these, and the ones with the rubber bands, definitely. And I'd put championship belts on them. That's how I determined who my champions were out of all these guys. And I was very careful to open up the pack, you know, the 28 pack, and take whatever figures out and make sure I put them back in there, because I was a weird little kid like that. But this is kind of a snapshot of the Muscle universe in 1985, in addition to the poster that I showed you earlier. Well, I'm a big fan of these, and, you know, like I said, it's like 5 needles in a haystack, you know, and those 5 haven't quite blended in yet, but I'm going to show you the full set and a better view of them, of what they look like here in just a minute out of the packages, because, you know, I did say this was a completion of a set, and that is true. It's a completion of my second set because I just didn't have the heart to pull them out of these packages. So this is a full set. What you're looking at, actually, this is all of them, all 233, and the ones in the package and the ones laying on the table there. So that's a full set. So, you know, feast your eyes on that. You're not going to see many of those. And there's not a lot of coverage of these on YouTube even. I mean, there's the people that are passionate about these are very, very, very passionate about these. And there's like dedicated websites and stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to not focus too much. There's a lot to look at, but maybe you'll be better served if I move it around these muscles and you can kind of see some of them here. But in addition to what you're seeing here, there was a board game released, and it had some exclusive figures, and they started doing these colored muscles, and I'm going to get into that here in just a moment, like what happened with the line. So when these first come out in 85, they were all shipped, and they were pink like this. And I'm going to pause the video for just a minute and come back with another visual. And we're back. So imagine now, look at the colors mixed in, the colored muscles. And one thing I want to show you here, you may notice this guy looks familiar. So this is a purple version of the guy, one of the missing 5 there. Well, I didn't consider this part of my set, because what happened is in sometime around, you know, 86, 87, when the second wave of these come out, they decided to try to spike the sales and include these little colored ones. And so half of the package would be, say, 2 of the pink ones, and then the other half of the package would be 2 random colors. Well, that was a kind of an irritant to me, and I really slowed down on buying them. Now, I might, if there were 2 of the pink ones I needed in there, I might get them, and obviously I've acquired a few of these along the way. Now, I refuse to accept these as part of my cassette, you know, if I want a pink version of all of them. So all 233 of mine are pink in both sets that I own. These are extras. I haven't decided if I want to work on a colored set or not, because, believe it or not, there is almost a full version for every number of each one of these colors you see here, all the various colors. But in most cases, there, and I think it's 9 colors. In most cases, there are only 7 of the 9 colors produced. But at any rate, I'm more of a muscle purist, and I'm trying to stick with the 233 that's on the poster and, you know, all of the original colors. So anyway, they did this to them, and I slowed down on buying them. Well, I'm going to show you. I'll be right back and show you something else. All right, so this image is what it looked like, say, around, you know, 88 when the line was done. All color ones and none of the, you know, beloved pink ones. So I pretty much slowed down on collecting, and it took a while. And real quick, just to kind of sidetrack, if you notice, this is one of those, this is a softer, and it's more of like an eraser type version of him. And they started, you know, sometime, you know, these would show up in vending machines and stuff, and like, you know, there's tons of bootlegs of these out there, and these are actually a popular reproduction product that have made a comeback, and I'm going to actually hopefully show you a couple things here in just a moment. But anyway, this is the landscape of muscles, and like I said, that is a full set, and this is, you know, a little bootleg here, and some of the color ones that I have. And so this is a very important thing in my life. I spent many a years chasing these, and like I said, the reason I wanted 2 sets, I just couldn't stomach parting with my originals as a kid, or, you know, taking them out of these boxes. So I wanted 2 full sets. And like I said, I'm going to show you a layout of the 2 full sets here in just a moment. And real quick, I didn't really get a chance to cover the packaging much, but look at how awesome it is, like the comic. And these are set up back in the same order. This is just the back sides of 1, 2, and then number 3. and number 4. And another cool thing here, let's see. Yeah, this one here. I think they all actually do, but check that out. $6.97 from Toys R Us. That's awesome. So anyway, these are cool. And like I said, these are an important part of my life. I'm glad I could share it here with you today. And like I said, now I'm going to show you what a full set looks like inside of display cases. I just wanted to share that with you real fast on the back of those packages and the price tag. Okay, so what you're looking at here, this is the display case that they reside in. And this is just half of the set, maybe a little smidge over half. And I'm going to start zooming in here. It's numbered 1. This is numbers 1 in order. So 1's number 1 there, and there's number 2, so on and so forth. Number 1, and at the very end is number 123 in this particular case. So this is roughly half the set, and I'll show you a few things about the second one here in a moment. So anyway, these figures, like I said, have been very important in my life. I've been collecting them since I was a little kid. And I just couldn't resist the allure of them. And, you know, before Pokemon, before a lot of this other stuff, this probably started my collecting craze. And there's a crooked guy there. That's irritating me. Started the collected craze, and, you know, I just had to have them all. And, you know, Mattel's good about this, like with Hot Wheels or even Barbies or whatever. And they've had a strong grasp on the collector's game and industry for a long time. But, you know, they pump these out. And like I said, the concept was just get them all. And these are all little wrestlers, kind of, I guess, the appeal factor to me to add into that. These are like the whole backstory where they were little wrestlers and everything, and they had to do all these battles for supremacy. So, and you know, of course, in wrestling, good guys and bad guys. But these little guys, I was just very addicted to. You could put them in your pocket and take them to church or school or whatever, and I would trade them with my friends. And you weren't going to catch me anytime probably between 85 and, 88 without these guys close by, at least some of them. And I would even, I had a box of them that I kept them all in. And I pretty much was always equipped with muscles because I just love these and I think they're awesome. And here getting a glance at all of the different characters there. And, we'll just start back up at the top and I'll kind of go a little quicker. I got a lot of ground to cover and I know I'm long-winded. And I do appreciate you guys sticking with me and tuning in with me today here on Tales of Collector's Paradise featuring yours truly, Big Stevie Pump. And continue to like and subscribe and comment and, and everything. I'm having a great time with this, and even message me, you guys that know me personally. I appreciate all the feedback, and that's why I'm in this widescreen look today. I'm hoping that this is better for you guys, and let's bust out case number 2. All right, and here's display case number 2. And yes, this is another M.U.S.C.L.E poster, one that I acquired in a game of chance over the years, in my years of dealing with these and chasing them down. And so a funny story about these, when I completed my first full set, which was in around 2000, a buddy of mine who shall remain nameless, and he knows who he is. And by the way, this is number 124 through 233 plus a couple of bonuses, and we'll go slow here so you can see him. A buddy of mine who shall remain nameless actually spilled beer all over my set. And when I completed, I had them all piled out on the dining room table and was, checking them off in inventory and making sure I had them all, comparing them to the poster. And anyway, boom, it happened. And he's kind of clumsy and does things like that from time to time, but no harm, no foul. You can easily wash these off, which is what I did. And that's the cool thing about these being rubber. And even, sorry, I'll try to go a little bit slower so you can get a better look at them. Even, in the 80s, that was cool being a kid if you play with them outside, which I really didn't. And let's take a look at the hand there. He's always one of the favorites. You can usually fetch $25-30 for him. And there's a few of these that kind of have some lore about them. And, but at any rate, as a kid, if you spilt something on them or got them dirty or whatever, they got grimy, just, being a kid, you could wash them off. And that's another cool thing. And even all these years, they still hold up pretty well. Now, these two down at the bottom, actually, I'll get to them. Let me finish making the sweep, and I'll get to them in a moment. But so basically, this is, case 2 and of the full set of 233, and that I've been chasing down since 85. And this is what really spurned the collector in me and got me into collecting stuff and made me a big fan. And this is a lot of what I attribute my mania to or whatever, my collecting habits. So, all right, so here we go. This is number 233 on the poster. But right beside him is what's considered 234 and 235, and that is Muscle Man and Terry Bull. And those guys come with the ring, that Rock'em Sock'em robot-style ring I showed you at the beginning. And those are not pictured on the poster, but some people consider them part of the set, some people don't. Like I said, mainly what I've showed you today is the 233 that are pictured on the poster. But there is another figure known as Satan Cross. And there's kind of a backstory about him, and he'll go from anywhere 100, 120 bucks, maybe even 150. I've bid as much as 52 on him years ago and lost out, and that was in a day and age when that was outrageous to pay that for one of these little rubber figures. Anyway, he's not pictured on the poster. And the lore behind him is his name's Satan Cross, and there's a couple of different things. One, the first rumor is Mattel pulled him because his name's Satan Cross, and they didn't want to be associated with any character named that. So that's one rumor. Another rumor is he was actually a two-piece figure, and he had a hole in his back, and it was two parts, and another figure come out, and you would snap it into him, and Mattel thought that was too much to produce. That's another popular rumor, and so they yanked him from the line. However, a few of them made it out there, more so the first piece that the other piece plugs into than the other one. You'll find them on eBay, and like I said, 100, 120 bucks, 150 maybe even, and I'll bid on them. And I've been chasing that one for years too, but I've got my limits. I can only pay so much. But as a kid, my quest was the 233 from the Nestle Quick poster, and I've showed you here today the 233 from the Nestle Quick poster. And I got a couple of few quick things I want to show you before we go here today. All right, what we're looking at here is a relaunch. So around 2002, between 2002, this ran on the Kids Network, or what was it? Let's see, on 4Kids Entertainment. Maybe it was on, I can't remember what station it was on. Sorry for not being smarter on that. But they try to release these again. There again, you see the Bandai licensing there. And I have a few of these packages, and I do have a full complete set, and that's a full complete set of them. And they tried some things here at the end. They didn't really bring out too many of the original, pink, figures. They had a lot of color. They tried some clear translucent stuff. They even tried launching a 6-inch line, and a few of these figures were painted, and I kind of, laid the painted version there at the foot of the counterpart there. Except for there, Kid Muscle, there he goes on that one. So they even come out with this 6-inch figure line, and as you can tell, I bought them, and I've been a big fan of these. And when these come out, I picked them up, and I've had them for all these years, and I like them. And anyway, let's get the last guy yet, Jaeger. And the four in the middle here, Muscle and Robin Mask. These are the two main guys or whatever. Then you got like Kevin Mask and then Kid Muscle that are the sons. That's the generation that's, continuing the story. And so basically they tried to relaunch this 2002, didn't work out very much. They did some weird things, with the figures, making them shoes and such. And, just real quick, I'm going to bring up one of the old style, so that's kind of what they had. And then that just didn't seem to really live up with, this. And when you look at when you look at these figures side by side, you can see the color difference and everything. And they just didn't live up to the originals. And I mean, especially didn't, live up, definitely didn't live up to my champion there, or the hand. I mean, they just paled in comparison to those, but it's fine. It is what it is. I mean, they tried and it just didn't work out, and there was too much going on. And so anyway, there's that. And a couple of other things real quick before we go. All right. And here is over the years, they've recently released some muscle-inspired things. These are some little blind pack Street Fighter guys, and I don't want to go on this too long, but these are pretty recent, released in the last couple of years. And WWE, this is a set of them open and closed there. They released, since Mattel has the toy line, an inspired crossover of these muscle figures, and there's the closed and loose. I just had to have them, being a fan like I am. So I just had to have these guys. So this is part of the crossover appeal for me, the WWE and the muscles. I had to have this. And like I said, and even over the years, even things like homies. Here's like a bag full of homies. These used to be sold in like vending machines and such. So, in a plastic thing like this. So, like I said, I got a whole bag of homies here. I've been a miniature collector for years, and I still am. But anyway, I had to show these little WWE crossover guys. All right, so guys, you know what? Thanks once again for joining me here today on Tales from Collector's Paradise, episode 4, featuring yours truly, Big Stevie Pump. I was super stoked to do this for you guys today. This has been, like I said, a 35-year-old journey that started as a 10-year-old boy, and I'm glad you got to share that with me today with opening those final 5 figures that from the mailbox from Yep Rock. A couple of quick things I want to take care of, though, is I meant to send a shout-out earlier. I mentioned about a couple of hardcore muscle enthusiast sites, and that is Nathan's Muscle page, University of Muscle, and LittleRubberGuys.com. And LittleRubberGuys.com covers lots of stuff, lots of miniatures. Anyway, and this was, like I said, a precursor to Pokemon and a lot of that stuff, and a lot of these miniatures, monsters in my pocket, a lot of things that's come throughout the years. These muscle guys is really what started the craze, and even homies like I showed, and a few little things toward the end there. And oh yeah, one other thing I forgot. Sizing comparison. It just wouldn't be, you know, the show if we didn't show Shawn Michaels compared to my champion here. So this is an ultimate Shawn Michaels, and this is what they're doing here in 2020, and this is what they were doing in 1985. So just to show off a size comparison there, what we got, you know, Shawn Michaels, and you're just an average old day, you know, classic muscle figure from 1985. There he is. My champion. And there's Shawn Michaels, and you can't even zoom in on him that much. There you go, folks. There you have it. Anyway, Shawn Michaels, once again, has succeeded in taking over the show. We got to figure out some way to get him out of here, man. I'll tell you what. But anyway, guys, don't forget, continue to like, subscribe, comment, keep tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the widescreen look. Big Stevie Pump signing out.